How's everybody doing?
All right.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, welcome to welcome to the game, everyone. My name is Ninjaspence here, part of just a team bonus action, and that we are going to be presenting y'all with a brand new D&D campaign that it is going to be called the Revenge of Stef Kracus season. This is the season one of just this. We are going to try to hope to take this game to level 20. And then that right before we get into the recap, may I have the players introduce themselves?
I'll go first. I'm Nate. I'm playing Ari, who is a changeling lore bard. He is searching for the origins of his people and as well as whatever family he may have. He enjoys playing music and conning people out of their money.
All right. Next.
Uh, I'll be playing Hoggpaw. He is a arcane cleric, and he is a tabaxi that has spent more time casting magic missile than probably anything else.
All right. Awesome.
This is Emily here, aka Frey, and I will be playing TumTums Pebblepincher. He is a penguin El Coco and the cutest thing that will ever take out your kneecaps.
That is very true. And then that and then that this is and then that this is a homebrew setting for just those of y'all wondering that this is a homebrew that I have been working on for about the past 3 years. So let's just go ahead and then get right into the recap. And then that basically welcome fellow adventurers. My name is Benevolent Serpentwind, caretakers of these three destined adventurers who all share the same dragonhead birthmark on their left hand. We are seeking help from our current members of our unnamed guild house in TriRayne, that we still have plenty of space with rooms decorum by that the fabulous Fabio Glittershine. He just owes me quite a bit. But without further ado, that like let me go ahead and then basically get into that the recap right quick. Okay then. That the party consisting of Hoggpaw, the arcane tabaxi cleric, that the recently deceased Ronnie Open Hand Monk, and Beneicia, the half elf bard, along with TumTum, which that we will get into later, that they had all received golden tickets to witness Villara star bard Vivian Schelling's starting play I Want to Be Your Canary. However, upon arrival, the three noticed they all had a likeness on in their marks in their left hand, a head of a dragon. Benicia collided with Vivian Shelling, who was panicking about she is missing her violin, and it was taken from her at last night's party before the big show. She stated she had a lead on the culprits that who had went to the Strand ruins, an old tourist attraction turned crypt, but she wants the party to to check in and find her friend Boy K that can lead them there after they settle down in TriRayne, the capital of Villara, and then at the founding area of the country as a whole. After settling down and dealing with a haughty dwarf that whom he believed he was cheated in darts from Boy, she informs the party that the corporate was a half-orc thief named Citric with his goblin cronies, and she can lead the way to the Strand ruins. After fighting skeletons, jumping across stalagmites, and finding treasure, the party faced off against the half orc and his goblin henchmen. After the fight, the half orc became enlarged and monstrous. How, However, a large gray arrow struck Citric to the throne, killing him ultimately. Only Ronnie saw that a figure cloaked in a light silver gray cloak was wielding a great bow, and he had put two and two together for the events. Any questions so far from the party?
Most of this is kind of ringing a bell.
Okay.
I actually had to step away and back.
Okay then. Okay then. So am I free to continue with the recap?
Yep.
Okay. Okay then. After the party collects the violin and returns it to Vivian, she thanks them by upgrading their tickets to VIP passes and tells them that there is a strict no weapons policy in Expressivo Hall, where that the play will be held. That the party, after some exploring of the city and dealing with lighthouse rats from a lighthouse attendant that may or may not have a thing for rodents and excrement, the party went to the play and sat with key players in the government system of Villara. Two key figures of note was the Prime Minister of TriRayne, Edric, and newly appointed King of Cornavia, Stef van Kracus. Vivian calls out to the party to help her assist in the last act of the performance. However, thanks to Beneicia, the party put on a well-placed show, which granted them a generous tip from the upper-class citizens. Tensions heated up as the party sat in on a heated discussion between Edric and Kracus. The following that that now that the following high points of a few things that were revealed, and then I will highly recommend taking notes. Kracus and the Dwarven King of Centigale have not defected into the Republic of Villara, and they are currently maintaining their monarchies instead of a unionized democracy. Edric states that the Treaty of Freshus is to have all 5 states to abolish the monarchy rule in favor of democratic systems. However, Kracus wants to honor the late Queen Guinevere that was poisoned during one of her dinner formalities by keeping Cornavia a monarchy. Edric calls Kracus's goblin shit bluff and states that he had some foul play that caused the orcs to grow hostile towards anyone that stepped foot into Cornavia, but reports that Kracus is running an illegal mining operation that has correlated with reports of missing travelers. The party and Vivian felt the tension in the room as Ronnie spoke out against Kracus, but Kracus laughs and teleports out of the writing room. However, before he leaves, he threatens the party to quit while they are ahead underneath his breath as he disappears into his own portal. Hoggpaw asks Edric what is his deal, and Edric informs them that he has suspected that Kracus may back out of the treaty's terms. Regardless, Edric is indebted to the party for assisting Vivian Schelling in her plight, so he offers the party a task to travel north to a small hamlet called Odowekin to meet one of his contacts, an old fortune teller gnome named Cheryl. Along the way, Beneicia falls victim to an old ambush tactic by a bandit woman and her crew. However, TumTums come in to save the party with adorable, cute toughness. Once there, the sounds of an alto sax leads them to the gnomish woman, who informs them that they must retrieve a tapestry that is sealed away in a cave not too far from the hamlet. After indulging in carrot vodka, Ronnie decides that he is going to sit this adventure out. He had ate too much during the last fight, for his stomach was hurting him. The cave itself was with inside the cave itself was Edric's men that were sent ahead of the party that were brutally attacked by ogres donning Stef van Kracus's sigils. Hoggpaw and Beneicia managed to save Kane. soldier of that platoon. He tells them that Rogmish the Smart is searching for the tapestry. Rogmish the Smart is one of the orcish generals that Stef van Kracus has just hired. After solving the puzzle of childhood fables, the party is faced with Rogmish the Smart and her cronies. However, thanks to quick thinking by Hoggpaw and TumTum, they turned the tide to battle, and Hoggpaw claimed a new fire hammer. The tapestry shows cloaked figures of various skill sets fighting off dragons and defending the adventurers with the same birthmark of the party. One, okay, any questions so far?
Not so far. I'm kind of just trying.
I'd forgotten the fire hammer. Is that a mace with just fire damage added to it?
Mm-hmm. Okay then. Okay then. Once they collected the tapestry, Cheryl is chatting with the Silver Arrow Pigeon. Pigeon greets the party and gives them a few pointers before disappearing off into the night. The party travels back to TriRayne and met with yours truly, benevolent Serpentwind, a mysterious yet humble stewardess that has contracted the awful Gorgonitis that 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 has her coughing up stones. The party catches a glimpse of the Dwarven King debating with the Prime Minister over something they could not grasp. Edric rewards them with an old guild house to call home and states for them to wait or so before more official work comes in, and that this is where the story will pick up. And then as that you and TumTum know, Hoggpaw, that the applicants must go through an interview process, but y'all are also making sure that they don't have the same birthmark as y'all as well. And then that this is where we will begin.
Okay,
I
so
have a quick question.
yes.
Sure.
You know, I'm a changeling, right? So if I change my appearance, does the birthmark stay?
It's that the birthmark is kind of like think of it as if that it just keeps fading like in and out. It doesn't like always fade in and out, but you can basically I would say that you have learned through growing up that you can basically cover it up as well, but that it's still there.
I got you.
Which building DM is going to be our guild house?
Right here, that the one I am highlighting right here. So then I had just presented y'all that the map of TriRayne, that this is your guild house of just your unnamed band.
All right, cool.
All right then. So we will basically start off like this. So it is basically I'm gonna say it's early morning, and Beneicia has overcome with some kind of sickness from partying too much, and then she is sleeping right now. But it is Hogpaw, TumTums, and Benevolence are basically setting up for interviews, and y'all have been through slogs of interviews quickly after just like y'all just had any kind of adventurer who thinks that they know how to wield a sword comes up, and Benevolence says like, Master Hogpaw, I must say that last person did not, he could barely stab a dagger.
Yeah, I've never actually seen someone lose a fight with a rotisserie chicken before, but there's a first
I think
thing
he
for
did stab
everything.
himself.
Yeah.
God, that the wizard that basically that she had lit her dress on fire, and then that she almost burnt up, but that she almost burnt Benicia's feather boa. I cannot believe that.
That's why you don't use anything made out of polyester.
Can you imagine just trying to cast Fireball? That would end so bad for all of us.
Or
Exactly.
anyway, look,
That there
before
is
we
a knock at the door.
okay, look, we're gonna continue this, but I got a feeling we need to go to a library and get that book by the individual by the name of Omen. I think he has some very good business practices for hiring. I think it's called The Art of the Kill.
Art of the Kill. That sounds.
Art of the Kill. Interesting. I would have to see about that. So anyway, then there is a knock at the door, and then that whoa, and then that, and then like right before that the door is open, what form is Ari taking right now?
It's going to be an elf.
Okay. All right, and then who is going to answer the door?
I guess Hoggpaw will do it because I feel like TumTums might not be able to reach the handle as well.
I can reach, but the footboys make it hard.
All right, and you open up the door, and then you see an elf, and describe what this elf looks like, please.
He is, the standard Legolas elf. He's got a 3 instruments hanging from his backpack. He seems to have a lot of books and stuff attached to his backpack. You can tell he's got a pair of reading glasses just on his face. He looks like he is an academic, even though he has the crossbow and the rapier. He is more of an academic than a combat guy.
Good morning and salutations. Welcome to the as of yet named guild.
Well, I like the name. It is bold. How are you?
I need coffee, but other than that, I'm fine.
I'm gonna shake his hand and offer a pointer finger to TumTum.
While the hand is extended, Hoggpaw is going to make. It's our left hands, or is it our right hands that have the mark DM?
It is the left hand. Left hand.
Okay. Hoggpaw is going to stick out his. You said left hand.
Mm-hmm.
And may I make a perception check to see if I notice anything?
Okay. Certainly. Go ahead. First roll of the night.
That is a 17.
Okay. Okay, then are you showing the mark currently, Ari?
I'm not initially trying to hide it, but he would have he's not trying to hide anything. He's probably got long sleeves and stuff, but he's probably not too worried about showing it all. Has it ever got him in trouble before?
No, that most people just think it's just a cool birthmark. That's all that you just known it as to be.
Okay, then yeah, he's not going to be hiding it.
Okay, then so then as that Hoggpaw is shaking on this elf's hand that you kind of see that the similar birthmark symbol on that left hand of his.
All right, I'm gonna kind of give a raise of eyebrows over towards our other party member.
TumTum?
Did you forget my name?
No, I forgot our
Benevolence?
Benevolence. There we go.
Oh, it is just okay, Master Hoggpaw. Oh, wait, are you here for the interview?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Okay, well then right this way, and then that this is Master Hoggpaw, and then that this is Lady TumTum, and then that we will be asking you a few general questions. All right, then please have a seat.
Okay. Do I call you?
You may call me Benevolence.
Benevolence. All right.
What? Go on.
All right. I'm just gonna follow.
Okay, then.
Wherever I need to go.
Okay, then. So then we all kind of just go that Benevolence just leads you all to like the auction room that's basically set up like a interview room and like, any type of interview job that we've ever done or whatever. And then it's just like a table with just like a chair in front, and then there are supposed to be 4 people sitting in front, but you only see 3 with just that. Oh, I am sorry that you have to excuse Miss Beneicia. She had kind of caught she kind of caught a bad stomach virus. That would you like some tea or coffee?
Some tea would be great.
All right, and then you just see just like a mage hand just comes out of nowhere and just brings you just this platter of tea.
I take it from the hand and I say, "Thank you, I appreciate it."
No problem. Alrighty then, Master Hogpaw, Lady Tumtum, I will let you ask the first few questions.
Okay. Before we actually get started, DM, just a little meta here. I got my old character sheet out. It seems we have 394 gold in a party fund.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct with you?
That is correct with me. Mm-hmm.
And
Oh.
and is the music level okay to everyone? I'm also testing to see if it's being picked up by the audio right now.
Yeah, that the music is yeah, that you know that the music level is fine.
If I could get a little pause from everybody real quick to see if it's actually getting picked up by OBS. I'm sorry to our gentle viewers. We will be a little bit more prepared next time. The tech guy
Right.
is a little bit behind on the ball.
I hear it just fine.
I hear it just fine.
Okay, I'm just seeing if OBS is picking it up with its sound levels.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. All right, sorry about that. So I guess this is just you were saying questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hypothetically, if an ogre showed up and started yelling at you that you had done something wrong and it's the first time you've ever been to the town, what is your reaction?
I would try to probably talk my way out of it. You know, I've got a way with words. What's the ogre angry about? I mean, is he being unreasonable, or could I reason with him?
Hoggpaw is going to actually take out a set of dice and just roll one. Yes,
Okay.
it is being unreasonable.
Well, in that case, I would just do this. Hold on.
I'm liking how it's just snap. Hold on. It's like, I believe the ogre would probably
He's
stop.
currently digging through a bag, and I'm like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I would just do this.
And what are
Eyelash encased in Arabic gum
mm-hmm.
and disappears.
Oh, invincibility.
That's
what is cute.
that is useful.
It's
That
pretty
is
cool.
very
So I would disappear.
okay. Okay then, so that he is magical. Okay then, Lady Tumtum, what is your question?
I'm not a lady actually, but
Oh, sorry. Oh, sir, Master Tumtum. Sorry about that.
I don't know where to look. It disappeared.
He holds the cup up to his mouth so you can kind of get the general idea where his face is. He's
Okay,
holding.
that helps. I feel like I'm making some eye contact. Why are you out adventuring?
You know, I just have a pursuit of knowledge. I'm writing my thesis for a unit, and you know, I just want to explore. I have just a love of knowledge, and I'm just trying to expand my. Well, I'm just trying to make the world a better place. Honestly.
That's a good answer. What do y'all think?
Insight check.
All right. Give me a deception check then to counter.
TumTums is going to take that at face value.
Do I get an advantage since I'm invisible?
Yeah, let's go with that because that you can't really read a face.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's fair. Hoggpaw's gonna
Right.
believe it.
That both of y'all are just like, yeah, on board with it. Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
We have a very altruistic soul trying to join us.
Alrighty then. That hold up. And then that benevolence just coughs up this big rock loogie. And then that she just and then that she just like throws it away up in the trash can beside her, like, sorry about that.
Are you okay? No, it's
This is a thing going on right now, yeah.
It is organized.
So you all right?
I am actually all right, Master TumTums. I just need some Medusa blood, and then that this dreaded disease can be gone.
Now, are you talking about like a one and singular solitary Medusa, or can we just go get a Gorgon?
A Gorgon will be fine, but yes, I do need fresh Gorgon blood. But my question is, are you willing to sacrifice everything you can for your fellow party?
Maybe once I get to know the party, I would definitely not leave anybody to die. You know, I mean, if I say I'm gonna come along on a quest, I'm gonna do my best to support them for sure. I'll take anybody's money, and I don't travel with anybody I wouldn't look out for.
That's kind of a fair answer.
That is a fair answer. So what do you two think? Should he stay here?
Well, and Hoggpaw's gonna hold up his hand. I think there might be something that's kind of binding everybody, whether or not we want him here or no.
Wait, what?
Well, he currently, our individual here is invisible, so it cannot be shown. But when I shook this individual's hand, had the same thing that we got.
Wait, really?
I am still just, every time this happens, I am more and more disappointed that my mama lied to me.
Grab Hoggpaw's hand while I'm still invisible and just look at his left hand closely and inspect it.
I hold up Zipper.
Okay, then whenever that they both do that you clearly see that it is the same kind of like design. Hoggpaw's is kind of like shaped up in his tufts of fur, but it's still there. And then it is also a mark on TumTum's flipper.
What is TumTum?
A penguin Aarakocra.
A penguin Aarakocra.
Okay. I was just confused by your icon.
Yeah, you can't really make a penguin in what you call it.
I got
Hero
you. Okay.
Forge.
It's more like, imagine more of a little chubby, like 3.5 foot tall penguin.
I got you. Got you. Okay. Well, then I guess I'll go visible. I'll set out my hand. I'm sorry, I forgot to hold the button down. I'm gonna go visible and set my hand down in front of everybody, and pull my sleeve up so the birthmarks can clearly be seen.
Right, and then that you just see just that this dragon's head birthmark is just on at the back of the palm, and then that's all what it goes up to. You know that you all have had this since birth. You know, people have complimented on y'all, but it just has been with y'all for life.
Yeah, and somebody's mama done told them it was a very special birthmark that only they had, and it made them her very, very special little kit. Now I'm learning that that's a lie.
Okay.
Oh, that this is quite the coincidence. I mean that I guess then that I need to prepare our interviewee of room. What is your name?
Ari.
Ari.
All
right. I am.
Could I do a quick Arcana check on? I want to ask if I can inspect everybody's birthmark. I just want to do an Arcana check real quick.
Sure.
I probably hadn't realized before other people had this.
Okay, sure.
That is a 7.
A 7. With that roll, you feel a pulse, even just from just your own, but it's kind of like a irregular heartbeat pulse. You don't feel it strong enough yet, but you can tell it's something magical that seems to be sealed or something.
Okay.
Well, then that I guess then that Master Hogpaw, Master Tum, do I need to call Fabio to get a room prepared?
Yeah, that seems fair.
Alrighty then. Then that, and then that, then that benevolence that she just takes her two fingers up to her forehead. Any of you magic users know this as she is doing sending, and then that there is a knock at the door immediately.
Hogpaw will get up and go open it.
And then you just see that you see like this slender elf looking guy with long flowing hair up in just like pink robes, and it seems like that he was wearing kabuki makeup this time around, and he just like, oh, Hogpaw, it's long time no see. Oh, benevolent sweetie, what do you need from me? Oh, you need room? All right, I can call in my two friends. Chop chop, Brutus. And then you just see just as these two humans are just up and nothing but just like can only imagine as just like a leather speedo, but both of them are jacked and yoked like just like two power lifters, and then that they're just holding lumber and stuff. And then that, where do you need them to be?
Hmm.
I am basically asking, like, where do you want your room to be?
Oh, okay. It can just be in some quiet corner, somewhere with a bookshelf.
So is the room or is our guild hall mostly just like a big empty building that rooms are getting built in as we go?
Pretty much, and pretty much that you all need to get guards, a cook. So far, that y'all only have benevolence who can do basic stuff, but eventually, as y'all grow, y'all will have to end up getting guards and basically chefs and stuff.
Hogpaw, now that you've mentioned that, that is I think maybe Hogpaw's mission for the next little bit. I'll
Okay,
but I'm about to step away, y'all continue.
okay. So then Fabio's just like, let's see the floor plan here. Oh no no no! That do you want to be by the window or no?
That'd be fun.
Alrighty then, Brutus, to the second floor in the corner by the study. Yep. And then they just go up, and you just start just hearing building.
Oh, cool.
So then, Master Ari, shall we get you settled in?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Alrighty then. So then that right here is our auction hall that we are just using as just that our interview section. And then that over here is the front desk, and then Benevolence opens up the front door. I mean that the door from that the auction hall. And then you just see kind of like a what is kind of like a clerical setup, and then that can you give me a perception check on like a book that you notice on like a little desk table? Just give me a perception check. You can too, Tum Tum.
The 20.
A 20? What did Tum Tum get?
Sorry, what did I need?
I had needed a perception check from you to notice like what to notice to notice the title of a book on a end table?
5.
TumTum, that you cannot see it, but Ari, that you kind of like recognize this kind of decorum and stuff, and then it's kind of like a second edition of Tusk Love on just at that end table.
Uh, I giggle under my breath, but that's about it.
Oh, and then that here is that our mail. As you see, that Beneicia gets a lot of fan mail, but we just don't know what to do with it. Apparently, she's popular.
Very popular.
Yeah, I got a lot of admirers.
Alrighty then. So, what can I help you all with today? What kind of information do y'all want to know?
Well, what? I guess I'm the newest member of the yet untitled guild, the yet untitled guild hall. I'm just going to kind of follow the lead of the original two.
That the original two, yeah. That unfortunately, that we also had to do a quick funeral for our dearest monk friend Ronnie. He had ate too much, and he basically and
He
he
didn't poop for like 2 weeks, and it was bad.
oh yes, it was very bad, and in that he had succumbed to his food injuries of food poisoning and with carrot vodka.
Carrot vodka.
You know that those people up in Otowekin, you remember whenever he went to Otowekin, Master TumTum, that we had to drag him back.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
He had mixed in carrot vodka with just tiefling rum. You never do that.
No, he did. I've never seen someone that messed up before.
Oh,
These people messed up.
oh, exactly. And Fabio comes back like, all right, all righty then. That the room is that the room is built. What color would you like it to be?
How about we just go with a nice beige?
Beige. Oh, and then you just see Fabio just kind of go like, he just kind of gets a little bit of disappointment.
Well, Fabio, I tell you what, you can. I'll let you pick if you don't like it. I don't really mind any color. Something that makes the room bright. So if I want to read by candlelight, I can.
Oh, okay then. And then he just snaps his fingers, and then you just notice that there is flicks of pink arcane sparks, and there, I had picked out a very lovely color.
Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and I guess set my bag down in my room.
As soon as you go into your room, it is highlighter pink all over the walls.
I sigh a little bit, but I just shrug it off and put my stuff. And I assume there's like a chest or something I could put my stuff in.
Oh yeah, that you have the basic bed, end table, chest, dresser, mirror, and then you have something that you've never seen before. That you have like a sink, but it is like a small. It's basically a small frost and steam method, kind of like into this tube with different faucets from just like a from just like a from just like a everlasting water pot. And then you kind of get the idea that this may be a sink of some sort,
We
or
got
else
running water.
a washing basin.
All right. Can I do a little Arcana check just to kind of check it out? Just to let.
Sure.
That's a 20.
A 23 that You basically kind of get the general gist of basically that if that you just basically you just basically just like hit the that you basically hit the button on that the side of just by that the steam method that the water comes to kind of like a warm but not like scalding hot area, and then that the same goes for the frost method, so that you kind of get the idea that that's kind of plumbing, some type of plumbing with magic involved.
Cool. I'm gonna turn it on and just splash some water on my face.
All right. All right, and what is TumTum doing right now?
Uh, what is it we have to do currently? Like our current plan? I missed the beginning part of the recap because I had to go
Oh,
do something.
long story short, that the y'all are in downtime right now, so y'all just got this guild house. That the main course of action is first naming the guild, hiring help for the guild, and basically shopping for magical items and such, and just generally exploring around the town.
What kind of magical items would we need? General.
Whatever your heart desires.
Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
how about we go look for like like maybe magical lighting, or maybe find a reputable servants. Maybe there's a place we can recruit. I don't know. I know there's probably not a staffing agency, but maybe we could talk to one of the nobles about recommendations.
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
good. Try and start getting the staff together.
I'm gonna go change into my fine clothes.
Okay. You're changing into fine clothes. All right. What is Tum Tum doing?
TumTums just wears his normal.
All
Looks
right.
cute, cute either way, so just gonna keep in the little penguin normal.
All right, and then if that y'all will just ping at the building of which that y'all want to go to. Okay, then. So that anyway, then that y'all's building is here. So basically a general overview that y'all are up in the middle district currently, and then that while that Tum Tum, you will know that this is known as that the Cheap Sorrow Tavern, and then that the Flying Dutchman will be further down. Well, then that we don't have the DM. I mean that we don't have Hoggpaw here to basically show off the map and stuff. But then that you basically are up in wait a minute. Hold up, never mind. Then that you all know this as the Flying Dutchman Tavern, and then that this is where the poor people live. I mean, the lower class citizens. My bad. And then that this is where magical shops are, and this will be the Bardic College. But more importantly, that this is where that the nobles live beyond these wall gate. So where would y'all like to go?
Are we allowed in where the nobles are?
Say that y'all have enough rep to be able to go in.
I'll follow your lead.
Well, if we want recommendations for where to get some staff, that might be the place to go.
All right. Benevolence kind of like over that she kind of like overhears your plight, and she just comes up and be like, "Oh, what kind of help are y'all looking for? Are y'all looking for trustworthy help, young budding help, or skeevy help?"
Trustworthy, I would think.
Somebody,
There,
people we can rely on.
I
I mean, we
mean
want
that
to bring back loot and doing some things we might not want others to know about. So trustworthy people probably best.
that if that you want the most trustworthy people, that you can always go to the Fletch here, to see that if then that they have just some new recruits that who have failed basically becoming a prison guard, and you can also go to their archery training center right there. That is actually right next door.
Okay. I'm gonna step away for 1 second and go say goodnight to the little boy.
Okay, that's fine.
We can wait. No big deal.
Okay then. So in the meanwhile, that you can ask me any questions about the world and stuff just to keep it going.
Well, what would I have been doing before now?
Let's see here. That I would say that you had received now that you did receive the invitation to go to basically to the play that you had missed out, but you had other obligations that was tied into your backstory that had prevented you from going.
Okay.
And then that can be up to you if that you wish to disclose that with the party or not.
Okay. All right. I think he's going to remain mysterious for at least games.
Okay, fair enough. All right, and so where are y'all going? Just ping it on the map.
See, I'm back. We just laid our little one down.
Okay.
You said the place that we should look is right next door.
Uh-huh. That the archery building. Let me ping it again. Yeah, that one. Correct.
Cool. You want to go there?
All right, and so as that you all basically kind of like walk there and stuff, that you just hear the familiar sounds of thunk on target, and then that you see just like a young strapping human boy, and then that has his aim steady and he shoots at the target, but it doesn't get a bullseye, but it actually but he lands close enough.
Hoggpaw's just going to be sipping a very large mug of coffee. All right, I might have missed a little bit here. We're trying to hire a god.
Yeah, we're trying to hire some trustworthy folk. So if we're out and about and we have valuables in the guild hall, they don't go missing.
That seems like a legitimate thing.
Y'all, then that y'all did make it to the archery place. Now, who are y'all looking for to speak to? Like somebody in charge, or
I would kind of ask, like, I would say I bring my own crossbow, and
okay.
I'm gonna go out there and I'm just gonna say I'd just like to practice. I am new in town, and I
Yeah,
was just
sure. Go ahead. Yeah. Shoot.
it's free.
Yeah, it's free. If you know how to use that, sure.
Is
All right,
that
so I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do it through a few practice shots, but I'm really gonna kind of pay attention to the people around me.
Okay then. Give me three attack rolls.
God dang.
24,
nice?
11, and 24.
In. So 2 out of the 3 shots, perfect bullseyes. Just that you just see just Ari just go, and then that the people who are around are like, give me an investigation check, Ari.
Sure.
That the others can too, if that they wish.
Nope.
Okay.
That is a
Got a
2.
14. 14 on me.
Okay, and TumTum.
Sorry. One sec. I can't do it.
Oh, okay. Okay, then. So basically, Hoggpaw, that you are busy, that your coffee has not kicked in yet, because that benevolence had tried to put in some of that halfling sugar into it to kind of help you perk up so that you didn't catch it. But then that Ari and TumTums, you all basically see just like that this, that you just see that the same kind of like dusty hair boy is keenly like looking at you with just like amazement, and then he actually gets his shot kind of like up in your own posture and just basically shoots his short bow, and then he actually gets a perfect bullseye, splinting your crossbow shot.
I
I'm
think
gonna
this.
clap. I'm gonna clap and say that's an excellent shot. It takes some real skill.
Thanks, mister. That the name is Arcus, by the way.
I'm gonna hold up my hand. Ari.
Ari, Ari, that's a cool name. And oh my god, is that's a cute Aarakocra.
Yeah, hi.
Sorry that I just joined here. And then is that a tabaxi?
Yeah, that's Hoggpaw, and my name is TumTums.
That I had came here all the way from Dulasol to try to become a guard, but then that they said I was too short.
How short is he?
He is I would say that he is 4'6", short for a human.
Short. And he's human?
Yes.
I did not know there was a height requirement for all the guards around here.
I mean, God, it was just insane. But that they said that they say I got good just eagle eyes and stuff.
Clearly. Can you are you just the bow, or do you know how to use any other weapons?
I mean that a bow is just my main thing, but then that I had also trained with a few monks, and then I used this. So he basically holds out two sets of fans. I need. Can y'all give me perception checks? 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that coffee is not kicked in.
Mine is 9. It's not 9.
All right, and Hog Paw and okay, then Hog Hog Paw and TumTums. Then that y'all don't notice it, but Ari, that you notice that there are like some metal tips, almost like blades, coming out of like unique places, and then he'd be like, "Yeah, that I had learned this from like some of the monks," and then he just starts doing just like Tensen kata basically just starts just like using the fans, and then he just goes up to like the straw dummy, and then you swore that you just saw a fan just cut off some straw from the straw dummy, and then he just folds them back up and just puts them up in his belt.
No, that is very, very interesting. You you said you're new in town? Did I hear that right?
Yes, I am new in town.
Have you got a place to stay? You looking for a job?
Well, I have been, and then since then I couldn't become a guard of the Fletch. I'm kind of homeless because I just left home.
We've all been there, buddy. I'm gonna look over at Hogpaw and TumTums. I'm gonna say I know it's your place, really, and I'm kind of the new guy, but I'm gonna hold out my arms and kind of shrug.
You just come over here. Let's have a little discussion real quick.
I come over. I go over there.
Okay.
Hogpaw is gonna Whisper. Okay, it is really messed up that they did not want to hire him based on height. That is extremely discriminatory.
I mean, I kind of take offense to that myself, and I wasn't even trying to be hired by them.
So I'm going to say that that's already a plus in my book with him. Also,
He's a good shot.
yeah, he's a good shot. I was going to say, well, we offer him like maybe 10 gold a week to be a guard. Does that seem like a fair price?
Seems like a lot. I
Well,
mean, he can have him stay in the guild house too.
I know, but like pay them well enough to live comfortably every day and put a little bit aside for savings so, they can have something on the side.
How much like an average thing in D&D? Like,
moderate is 1 gold a day.
so 7 gold a week.
Yes.
So, you want to start him out pretty high up there.
I am not paying Hoggpaw and this player are not going to pay someone poverty wages to work for us.
I do want to pay poverty wages, but
And
I mean, I'll go along with it. I mean, it's y'all's money.
and
It's
just
fine.
that also like out of game that you do not have to worry about copper or silver. Everything is gold, just for the sake of clarity.
I mean, the only thing I'm worried about is he's not the only person we have to hire. So,
Well, yeah, it's just that the bit of meta here is modest is a gold, poor is 2 silver. There's like not a between level here.
why don't we try like, I don't know,
About 5.
come to work for a raise,
I'm just saying pay the boy a wage that also allows him to save up and maybe afford a better weapon that we don't have to go buy for him.
All right.
Or maybe he wants a pony. I don't know. Kids like ponies. Never mind that. If we get him a pony, then we got to pay somebody to take care of the pony. But everybody good with hiring the boy?
Yep.
Ari? Did we lose Ari?
Ari? He did.
He did?
My connection was being weird. I couldn't hear y'all.
All right. I was asking. So we all going to hire the boy, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
So how about we, instead of going with 10, we go with 8 gold a day, or 8 gold a week.
Okay.
So what do y'all do?
I'm gonna call him over and say, my senior partner here has an offer for you, and I'm gonna let Hoggpaw talk to him.
Okay.
All right, let's step aside here. Let's step aside here a little bit because then some of these other people are going to try to ask us about shit, and I don't want to deal with that, okay?
All right. That's fine.
So you, my boy, want to be a god, correct?
Why, yes, of course. That I want to be a guard and just basically serve and to protect those that are weak.
Okay, I don't know if the weak part is 100% accurate. I mean, if you look at our tiny little friend here with the mace, they are a very strong.
Oh,
Yep. He's a morning star, and yep.
So, how about this? You didn't make it to be a god of the flesh, but we offer you a job as being a guard of our as of yet named guild hall.
be great.
Start.
That's the only thing. Like, go on.
I'm gonna say we're gonna offer you about 8 gold a week.
Oh, that's just more than what they've been giving me. That they had only gave me 1 gold to try out.
I don't know if I'll either understand the economy or if they are all messed up. One of these is probably the correct answer.
I think that they're still working out. That I had overheard some big guards talking about that they were trying to do the economy right, right. Then that they might go back to the copper, silver, gold system. Who knows? That it's a new government. But just as long as I can see Stef van Kracus behind bars, that's all what I care about.
Hoggpaw's just gonna kind of raise his eyebrows over at TumTums.
What's your beef?
Apparently, that my sister had got taken away whenever that she was traveling up in Cornavia. I haven't heard anything back from her in months. And then our poor mom died of dysentery.
Ooh, that's not good.
See, if we weren't hiring before, the sob story would make me want to hire him even more. Anyway, if you would like to partake in this employment opportunity, we're literally right across the street in that building.
Right? Let me just go ahead and then collect my crap, and then I will meet y'all there. And then he just shakes the hand, and he shakes your hand.
Sounds good.
Just thank you all so much. And then he just runs off.
I think we're done good.
Do we need more
All
than
right,
one?
then.
Do we need more than one guard, or now we consider actually safe?
We just need to hire just people to work inside and also someone to cook, I think.
Okay, quick question: do we want to just have a place for us to eat, or we gonna try to like run a restaurante out of our guild hall?
I don't think so.
That you hear a message coming in from like benevolence to say like, just for the love of God, just don't name it Smokey's Palace, please.
Okay, so what we're gonna do? We're gonna name it the Smoky Gazebo.
I think we're good is having it for us and whoever is, yeah.
Okay, so not like actually open up a restaurant and try to create a set of revenue that we do not have to directly be involved in.
I mean, we don't know how much you want to be around and that kind of stuff takes, time to get set up. I think we just need to find people to kind of run the place over along.
I'm fine with that.
That from what y'all do know, and especially Ari, that since that you were kind of the first to kind of just like be there and just kind of look around as well, you kind of get the idea that this used to be kind of like a like a established guild hall, kind of like for like an adventurers guild of some sort, but then it has been like old and decrepit and hasn't been used for years, so that's why the renovations and stuff are taking place.
Okay.
So
Look,
what are y'all looking for now?
How about some? Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Nate.
I would just say maybe we should find some domestic staff.
I think that is a good idea. Unless we can find a battle chef.
Chef? Oh yeah, those things. All right, and so then I need y'all to add on Arcus as just a hired guard. And then, so where are y'all going now on the map?
Where could we find someone along the lines of like a cook or a house steward or something like that?
house stewards will possibly be around that the Espressivo Hall, that which that y'all know from common knowledge is also the Bardic College. But if that you are looking for strictly like waiters and maids, that they will be up here, and then that this is the Bard's College, along with that the market area too.
And where's the market area?
The market area is here. That this is the main market area, and then that the and then that the one that is right next to the Fletch, that y'all know this as Mott's Emporium for Magical Goods, where I'm pinging on the map.
Okay, so the gray building is the magical place with a little market, and then the big market's underneath the big blue building.
Right, correct. That the big blue building is Expressivo Hall,
And that is the Bard's College.
and also auditorium. But yes,
All right, Hoggpaw is gonna look at the rest of them. All right, I'm gonna suggest we conquer and divide. I'll go try to find us a chef. If someone can try to find us an individual that could actually effectively run our household, someone that actually knows how money works, because I do not know if I overpaid or underpaid our god.
I know. I mean,
All right,
seven.
all right.
Okay. Well, benevolence doesn't do that kind of thing, or
I think benevolence might be more like our benefactor. I don't know. I don't know if benevolence would count as hired help.
I got you. Well, I'll go to the tent quarter down here and just look for like people who maybe can come in and clean once a week or so.
Hey, so who is going to go where?
Should we actually drop our tokens to help you out, DM?
Sure. Uh-huh.
So what's the two things we're looking for? I lost the internet for a second.
Just drag and drop your token on the map. Oh wow, tokens are huge on this.
Yeah, just don't like resize them down, or else do I have to resize them down?
I don't see the grid. It doesn't look like I can resize my token any smaller.
Okay.
There we go.
Magic. Okay then, so place your token to where you want to go.
Okay, and you said chefs might be over in the markets near the Bard College?
Correct.
And what was the other thing we were gonna look for?
Like a steward or else a butler, that y'all were needing something like that.
And Ari's, I guess Ari's token would be down in the tent city to the south.
Well, that the tent area.
I was just gonna look for like maybe people who could do those basic chores, looking for a little extra income.
I got it. Okay then, I need everyone to roll a d20 to see who goes first. Highest goes first, and we will go in that order. All right, 16. Ooh, whack.
Yeah, Hoggpaw.
Well,
I think we'll go with that one because I don't know which one
yeah.
So we'll just go with the one. Hoggpaw will go last.
Okay, and so Ari, that you are just basically walking around, and that you kind of notice that the paved roads and stuff, then they start to go towards like this gritty kind of like sand area. What had once used to be which had once used to be a beach, is now filled with just tents and stuff, or just some skeevy looking people that you might think that you stepped into the wrong part of the neighborhood. But then you just see just a couple of people just kind of like give you those shifty eyes, and then they just kind of like go back up into their tents and which tent are you looking for, respectively? Actually,
Is this building right here like a tavern?
that is actually one of the bigger tents. It is not a tavern, actually. It's just somebody just got more lucky with a tent.
I'm just going to try to start up a conversation with one of those shady-eyed people.
Okay then. Okay then. So then that as soon as you go in, that immediately that you just get just the tensions are flared. That there are three people in this area. One of which is a seemingly human woman. And she's just like, oh, hello. You must never been here before.
Someone directed me here. I'm opening up a guild hall, and we're looking for people to come in and you know do some cleaning and all that, some chores because
Oh, and
we'll be in and out as it goes.
you are trying to look for peddlers to do janitorial work?
Pretty much.
Oh, let me see here. Then that. Oh yes. By the way, that the name that now that the name is Judy. I am just here, just basically collecting, just seeing who is in and out of this tent community. And then that she just keeps on like licking her lips ever so slightly. That you just kind of find that a bit unnerving.
Can I do a perception check?
Sure.
It's 20.
With a 20, that you have kind of seen these people before, but you have heard tales about that the Yanti Island of Villara, but you never been there. But you kind of get the idea that she's a humanoid Yanti. But that's just all what you know, because of that the olive skin, and then that the kind of rough texture of it kind of gives it away.
All right. I'm gonna say so. Do you know of anybody who would be interested, or
Let's see here. No, that they had just moved in. No, that they still owe me money. Uh, ah, that you can try. Oh, but I don't think that you don't want her. That she's a bit, how can I put this? Slow on whenever it comes to grasping things.
that would be fun?
Yeah, that she will basically be at this tent right here. That it's just close. That is close. That is close to that the beach manor. Comes to
Okay.
grasping things.
Well, you could do me a favor and just have her. I'm gonna give them directions to the guild hall and
Okay.
say they should meet us there. Say in a couple hours, and they could bring her. I'll make sure they each get tipped 1 gold.
Duly noted. But you do keep in mind, I do have to put this on that the poster board on that the side of the wall, and I will not be held responsible for that the influx of people that will come to your establishment.
How many people are we talking?
Let me see here. It is currently about 30 people that live up in this lower part of just TriRayne, but I would see what I can do to try to hold them back. But I can't make any promises. Unless, of course, if you are willing to pay, and then I can give her this note directly.
How much do you want?
Oh, just a mere 15 gold. and then that this can just be between you and me.
Let me do a insight check.
Go ahead.
It's an 8.
Ooh. Okay.
You know, I'm just gonna think on it. I mean, I don't know if she's lying or not, but I just don't like the results. I'm gonna go find the other two, assuming I know where they're at.
Okay then. With just that those rolls that you kind of get the eye that you can't get a read on her, so then that you cannot determine what just the outcome of that would be. So that do you still leave the message with her?
No, I think I'm gonna go back and consult.
Okay.
So
Well,
I'll
then,
be back with my senior partners, and if they want to, we'll do it. But they're the ones that hold the purse strings.
very well. And then you just leave the tent as fast as you can.
Not too fast, but yeah, I just do leave.
Okay. All right then. Alrighty then. And then I take it that TumTum and Hoggpaw are together.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hoggpaw.
Okay then. Hoggpaw, give me an investigation check.
Investigation, not so good. That's a 3.
With that type of roll, you are asking around, and then you see actually like a row of food vendors that they are like Elven granola, tiefling gumbo, tiefling jambalaya, halfling stew.
All right, hold on. We gotta make sure that they're not actually making all this with the people that they say are in it.
You don't think they'd be announcing it if they were?
I don't know. I've been places. It's a couple times why it's why I've taken the vegan option at a couple restaurants. I don't trust goblin loaf.
You all come across a dumpling shop, and then you just see just a pair of buns, that are blind, kind of just that they just kind of just stick up, and then you just see just like the most beautifulest heart-faced. Let's go with half elf you have ever seen, and then she's just like, "Oh, are you here for my dumplings?"
I will not lie. Initially, I was not, but I may be here for them now.
Oh, oh, by the way, that the name is Serena.
Does she have 2 little knotted meatball style pigtails on either side of her head?
She does.
Oh my god.
And what can I do for you? That what we have is we just have that our famous just lunar dumplings that they are the best recipe in town.
What's in them?
Let's see here. Just a bit of this and a bit of that. Just like all it is just some peppers and stuff in it, just some rice. Who knows? She just laughs.
I am inciting checking that.
I kind of like to if I'm going to eat it. Is it meat?
Hoggpaw, that you like look at it and then that you can tell that it's meat, but you have seen it prepared a bit better, but it's passable.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, what meat did you done stick in these dumplings?
Oh, let's see here. Let me see that it was what was that we had killed? Oh yeah, that's right. That was owlbear, ground up owlbear.
Hoggpaw is gonna lean way over to TumTums. Okay, if this one doesn't know exactly what you're putting to food, I got some trust issues. What about you?
I'm a little scared of it.
Okay. Well, we might come back here in just a minute. They do look delicious, miss. You said your name was Serena?
Serena, but please don't go. Please don't go. That they are here. Look, just have 2 free samples on the house.
You don't owe money to like a loan shark or something right now, and you're trying to get us to desperately buy stuff from you, are you?
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
Lean back down to TumTums. Okay, I still had like serious trust issues. What about you? But I also feel rude if I don't take the dumpling.
I'm scared.
We need an adult.
I am an adult, but I'm still scared.
I need to find an adultier adult. Where's like a 200-year-old elf when you need them? Well, thank
I'm
you.
years old.
What'd you say?
I am 200 years old.
I think we're gonna have to eat these dumplings, TumTum.
What?
He just leans down and whispers, TumTums, I think we're going to eat these dumplings. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Y'all eat them? And that surprisingly are very good, despite their sloppy appearance. And then that that another elf comes in from the back and be like, Serena, I told you, wrap to basically fry them first and then stick them. You don't fry the wood with them. Oh, you will have to just excuse her. My name is Mako. I am the one who had crafted this recipe.
Are you telling me that inside my mouth right now there's a stick mixed in with this meat?
No. It shouldn't be. It just shouldn't be.
Because I'm having some serious trust issues before I done swallowed this.
But how does it taste?
It's pretty good, but I don't want to have no splinter in my tummy.
Well, then that she is my half sister, and then that she just got hired here, unfortunately. But it's okay. Then that I have been trying to get her to cook right, but she just needs a little bit more practice on simpler things. But yet, it just seems like that we might be closing up shop soon because that they haven't been a good delicacy, even though that I make all of these other amazing food items. Oh
Hog,
yes, and then that that the owlbear was real. I kind of overheard that. I slaughtered the owlbear with my bare hands.
Hogpaw is going to have this very hard, difficult swallow because he's still trying to figure out if he just ate part of a chopstick or not. What else do you actually cook?
Well, then I cook lunch boxes. I cook these weird things that the monks in Loki, Odin had taught me called rice cakes or something like that. And then I also know a few halfling cuisines and a few tabaxi cuisines too, especially that the filet filet mignon. Is that how you say it? The filet mignon. That the
Filet mignon?
Yes, that
My family called it bacon steak.
bacon steak. That's interesting. And then that we are the Sakino twins. Well, not really twins, but it's just for marketing purposes.
TumTum, what'd you think?
The dumpling was pretty good.
They said they're closing. Or did I miss? Did they say that they're closing, or did I mishear?
I don't know.
Did y'all say y'all closing shop?
Why, yes, that we will be closing up shop, and then that we will be unfortunately, Villara has became basically too high for us to continue living here, and then that we will be going to Stanham in the morning, unless of course if we can make this our home.
Did this place have TumTums? Does this have a place have a high cost of living? I don't know. I think I just overpaid a guard. I don't know what's going on here.
Judging by that, that your general knowledge of the area, that it is kind of like think like middle class that makes about 50K gold yearly, while basically that the poorest people only make about 25K gold a year and lower.
Oh, we so underpaid that guard. That 300 something gold we got ain't worth nothing.
It might be.
Do we want to?
We can always pay the guard more, but it is neat.
His icon's still here. Nope. All sorts of stuff just went weird. Hold on, let me fix everything.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, because there we go. Now we got our tokens back in the right place. I'll have to work on that with OBS for if we lose anybody.
So anyway, back in the scene. But yeah, oh, sorry, go on.
Good.
Oh, that this is that this is Mako speaking. Just like, yeah, that the dumplings are our best sellers, that they are greatly paired with the Elven granola bar right across the way in, and that you see just a flirtatious elven man just giving you just at the dangly fingers waving underneath his chin.
Is that supposed to be sexy? I don't know. I do not understand this. However, y'all about to have to leave. You're not making any money. Your sister seems to be a bit unable to cook.
But she is also a great fighter. That I have seen her always kick things in the face, and then I once arm wrestled I once arm wrestled a Goliath and won.
Well, she can cook and they can look up for themselves.
Okay, so do I need to go ahead and do the thing like I did with the other guy?
Yeah.
I'm here to offer you a brand new employment opportunity at the as of unnamed yet guild hall. And Hoggpaw's going to actually spit out a small piece of chopstick or a little piece of wood. Okay, yeah, I knew there was something in there. God, my concentration to break. But anyway, we're starting a new guild hall of adventurers, and we need somebody to put food in our tummies, but maybe not lumber.
Well, that Mako speaking. Well, certainly. Then I guess then that we can basically go there. What do you say, Serena? Sure, that we can go with Mr. Hoggpaw, and then oh my God, you're so cute! I just noticed you are. And then she just runs over and just glomps TumTum.
Yes, yeah, this thing happens a lot.
Yes, and then that are you? Well, then I just also hate to ask that even though that you are a cat person, Mr. Hoggpaw, sir, sir, that may we also keep our and then as she just points up to the sign that you just see just at this smiling black cat logo. That may we keep the cat too?
You can keep the logo. I'm going to probably say I'm not paying for a hawker stall over here. I might suggest you sell them out the window of the kitchen.
No, I was talking about our own cat. No offense. And then that there's just a black cat that just comes up curling around him, around the ankles.
You have a pet. I don't see why this is offensive. I am not that closely related to this creature.
Why? I never.
You kind of look like you little bit as she's
That,
getting
that, the cat just spoke that, by the way. Why, I never have been so offended.
Okay, there's a talking cat from the store that makes dumplings with a stick in them. Noted. Not the weirdest thing that has happened to me in the last several days, so, hello, talking cat. What is your name?
Oh. My name is Usagi, and then Serena and Mako are just basically my guardians. That they found me. Well, I was all beat up, but somehow Serena basically used that she basically wasted an awakening spell on an injured black cat. Now that thinking that it was a cure wounds spell. I don't know how you get the two mixed up, so I can talk.
I'm starting to think the TumTums and I have made a terrible mistake, but it has already done been made.
I'm still okay with it. Can you go on my face, please?
Certainly. And with that, then that you have Serena, Mako, and then that they're talking cat added as chefs. Question mark by Serena because she can cook.
But she can't fight, so that's good.
I think we might have just hired one cook and a guard. Anyway, at this point, I think we might need either it's a, no, I think they're called a house call. Maybe they're just called Carl. Maybe I just knew a guy named Carl in charge of a house. I don't know. I think like a head butler, the seneschal, something.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should head to the Noble District to look for someone like that, or find someone who might know where we could find somebody. And the
Mm.
fancy people would have someone like that.
The nobles would have somebody like that, but they're gonna be pricey. You know what? Let's get somebody that's working for. Let's find someone that this might be their first job, and if they don't do good, we just oh no, things went the wrong way. We all have this lifetime of experience that has made us wealthier. It's the friends and employees made along the way. I don't know. Let's just see if we can find someone over here at the Bard School. Like, I'm pretty sure that, because I didn't realize 50K was something that people made. Like, I'm starting to feel like adventuring is underpaid at this point because we got like 300 gold.
Venturing is not that underpaid.
I'm sorry, that's just since you said 25 to the, 30, 50K, I'm sitting like, we're just sitting there with gold, like,
Y'all just became adventurers. Y'all haven't made the big bucks yet.
we got that ramen money.
So anyway, then you all go to the Bards College, and then you all are just, oh man, it is complete chaos. And then you just see just a bunch of just women are swooning over like a suave human playing on its lute underneath a tree. You just see like that a drama club act going on. You just see like a few bards that are dressed up in like all black and just like dark makeup, just being moody. What are y'all looking for?
Okay, Hoggpaw knows just a little bit about bards, and he's actually going to see if he can find the production company of the Bard College, the ones that make all the backdrops for their performances.
In. That'll be easy enough. Then that you basically just walk around and you ask some of the people, and then that they basically like direct you to basically that this back area here to where then it is basically that where that y'all were performing and sitting and stuff at, and then that you just meet up with just like a older gentleman. He's like, yes, I heard that. Oh, that the ones that performed for Miss Shelling. Hi, that that I am a headmaster Sid. How can I make your acquaintance?
Before we get there, okay, TumTums, what we're going to do, we're going to find the people that know how to actually make stuff, because I'm looking around at that kid on the guitar. He is not going to run a business. He is not going to run a business. He doesn't even know what a G string is on that lute.
I mean, we need somebody who's gonna know at least a little bit of what to do around the place.
That's why we're going to find the people that make things. We're going to try to find a stage manager.
A stage manager?
They got to organize all... Okay, this is going to sound weird coming from me. We're finding a cat herder. We're finding someone that can get all these artsy-fartsy kinds to actually do what they need to do. That's who we want running our place.
Okay, I'm gonna follow your lead on this one.
Well, I mean, you helped us find the next, like, might be cook god. So,
Cook God. Go on.
So,
I mean, you're the cat, so I assume you'd be better at finding a cat hoarder, but I will go with your expertise on this.
it's a ton of phrase, TumTums.
So oh, go on.
Go ahead.
Oh, so that you basically see like just like you see a halfling, and he's just like, yeah, get over there, you. What are you doing? I told you to use the mallet. Do not use the butt end of the hammer like an idiot. Use the hammer. That's how you hammer in a nail. And you there, you bust the seam again after I told you. Told you you should have fasted before this performance. Now we gotta go re-stitch it again. I swear that I have made interns more than y'all.
Is Headmaster Sid right next to us?
Yes.
Who would that?
Oh, that is Humphrey. That he's a recent transfer student, but he has became self-imposed stage director. I just let him do what he does because I'm too old for his shenanigans. But he gets stuff done.
Hoggpaw seems very disappointed that you can eventually get too old for shenanigans, but that's actually who I think I'm going to need to talk to.
Hey, Sid. Oh, Eric Coker Penguin. That's weird. But anyway.
That's a little racist, but okay, let's continue this conversation.
So what can I do for you?
Well, my fine individual, do you find yourself in want of something that is not as frustrating as your current form of employment?
Now, what do you have to offer me?
We are looking for a house carl.
Face kind of goes from like smiling to just utter like, you want me to serve as a butler?
No, it's more like a manager.
Go on.
We have just established a brand new guild hall. We have yet to name it. We have hired one guard and a couple of, well, a chef and Hoggpaw is going to do quotation marks, chef. And we are trying to get our affairs in order. So I'm actually looking for an individual that might use a little bit of the bossiness to make things work.
Bossy. I can be bossy. That the only thing that that I just only have a request is that if there is anybody by the name of Serpent Wind, we will always be getting into it.
Serpent Wind?
Yes, that the last name Serpent Wind. That our families have been feuding for years and generations.
Hoggpaw's gonna lean down to TumTum. Do we know anybody with the last name Serpent Wind?
I don't think so.
What is Benevolence's last name again?
I don't remember.
Oh, we are very bad for this
Sending
job.
comes into your head and just like Serpent Wind, Hoggpaw.
Oh, we ain't gonna be able to do this one. TumTum did. I don't think this is an option.
What?
You said Serpent Wind, little one.
Why, little one? How dare you? I ought to just take off my glove and smack you.
Well, considering you already called my Aarakocra friend weird, let's just call it even.
Never been this insulted in my life. Huh, I got work to do. I bid you adieu. Foo-foo. And he just walks off in a huff.
That piece of backdrop's loose and about to come out, and it's mispainted for winter.
Just go. Just. And just Headmaster Sid is just like, oh, he does have a bit of an attitude problem.
I think
But
we
thank you.
dodged. I think we dodged a ballista bolt with that one. Do you got anybody else?
I do, and then that they are more on the reserved side. But I do have a question that does that the gender matter?
Why would that ever matter?
Just trying to make a more diverse work environment. That's all.
That it is fine. We hired one individual because they told him he was too short to work where he was at.
Oh, that that they just probably just were just teasing him because that how like that the young kids are, that they are just always just so just enthusiastic of joining the military. He just might have been too young, but I just see that you have a good heart, and then that this will be a good fit for y'all. So Headmaster Sid goes away for a bit. What are y'all talking about?
So, how bad do you think Beneicia gonna feel when she wake up?
I mean, I'm wondering when she's gonna wake up.
At least we are both being positive because it's not a if.
No, I heard the snoring before we left. I'm pretty sure someone would notice if that stopped abruptly.
Okay, as long as I'm not the only one who knows the snoring.
How could you miss it?
Also, we're gonna have to have another bathroom built because Ronnie.
Ronnie died.
What?
You. That must be when you walked out of the room. Ronnie's dead.
Hoggpaw just looks at Ronnie's dead.
Were you drunk? Cause you were there.
Yes, of course. I have made it back. I made it back. Come on now. Come on now. Quickly this way. Don't be shy. And you just see a fair-skinned girl with just a with just a floppy hat over her hair, and then that that she has like multiple belts kind of on, and then she's like, "Hi, my name is Sky Honeydew."
Hello.
Hoggpaw, give me a perception check.
A 16.
A 16. All right, and that you notice as she talk that the teeth are not humanist teeth, but rather more like feral almost.
So kind of pointy.
Kind of pointy. Yes, that she is a excellent bard, and then that she was the previous stage manager, but she is very organized and mellow, but she is a bit on the shy side.
Okay, so let me ask you, if you had a individual working in your crew that was a little bit like about a half ray of sunshine short of a full sunrise, how would you handle them misusing a tool?
I basically try to teach them the correct way, to show them the tool a couple of times. If then that they don't get it by the fifth time, I will have to let them go. Point and simple.
TumTum, did that sound okay?
Sounds reasonable.
Have you ever had to terminate someone on the spot?
You define terminate as in like physically harm them or fire them?
Fire them? Like, Hoggpaw looks a little concerned.
I mean that I had to do both up in just one fell swoop whenever that they basically remove my hat, and then that my ancestors' flame just burnt them as I let them go from my production. But yes,
Hoggpaw's gonna kind of nod. You wear the hat all the time, then.
I only wear the hat in public places because I don't know how did they feel about. I have heard this slur before, but that they're called the devil's blood. If you catch my drift.
Oh, my young lady, you a tiefling then.
That is correct.
Man, there are a whole lot of assholes in this town, TumTums, of people trying to judge based on anything like this here, right?
I don't see anything wrong with someone being a tiefling.
I don't either. I'm just saying, like, everybody we've talked to today, like, something's up and people been a butt to them. Are we gonna become like the house for misfit adventurers?
Seems that way.
It's like a stage play that I have wrote once. It was very well produced. Well produced.
Anyway, my dear, which last name Honeydew, Miss Honeydew, how would you like to be a house call?
Yes, of course, that I would love to, just as long as it does not affect my studies. Handmaster Sid says that I am up in my final semester. I mean quarter. Sorry about that. That is from the runic hammer. That they are on the bardic semester calendar, while we are on the quarter system in the TriRaynian TriRaynian Espressivo Hall.
That is fascinating. I've just learned something new. But no, I will not. I will not. I don't think TumTums will. I don't think our newest associate, Ari, which I don't know where Ari went, but I can't make any promises for Beneicia. She is a bard as well.
Oh, Beneicia. I've heard her music. It's interesting for the least. It is fascinating also with just her fancy love of blades too.
Yeah, yep, and the love for wagons just on the side of the road. But
Oh, please don't tell me that she fell for that old song and dance.
there
Did she?
wasn't even a dance involved. But
Oh,
she got a good heart. Anyway, if you would like, we're at the guild hall right over from the Fletchers
from the flat.
barracks. Yeah, just over that way, over near the gate. We just found ourselves landowners or homeowners. By the way, if you see like a fancy man in robes and kabuki masks with 2 beefcakes with him, he is harmless.
Oh, that you mean Fabio? That he is actually my stylist sometimes. Fabio gets around.
We gotta find a better phrase for that than what we've heard a couple times with it. That just sounds wrong. I think it might be he is a socialite.
A socialite? We can go with that.
In any case, we can show you over there to see if it is a place you would enjoy being employed at. And we got a fine area. I mean, did he go over? He went to the sand pit, didn't he?
Oh, that you mean that the poor district of, I mean, not poor district. Why in the world? I
That,
guess
wow.
Hmm?
I'm sorry, wow.
Exactly. I mean that the tent area that the scoundrels live. Ugh, that you can't find much help there. I mean that it's just a lot of drug problems down there. It's just the low income. That's just a nice way of putting it. The low income section.
Isn't that where Ollie went to go find some people?
Look, if you go down this road, it's kind of hard to
Mm-hmm.
miss. It's right behind the big magical hat place. We gotta go find one of our associates.
All right, fair enough. Oh yes, and then that if that you ever find yourself up in just Sandy Town, as as we call it around the college, do not make a deal with any woman by the name of Jude. Do not. It is bad news.
Noted.
Noted.
We'll see y'all there. Alrighty then. Then y'all can add Sky Honeydew as y'all's house call. All right, then how are we looking on time for y'all? Because
Uh,
it's 10 o'clock.
I was gonna say, DM, we might want to go ahead and call it a night. Not just because it's 10, but also we lost
True that.
half the party couldn't make it tonight or had technical difficulties.
Right. All right, then. So then that with just that, then that we will just end tonight's session. Then that please stay tuned for that the continuation of the Revenge of Stef van Kracus on January 21st, first at around 8 p.m. And then that you know that then I will have Hoggpaw a Miro close us out.
All right, folks, thank y'all for watching. Again, this is one of our newer campaigns starting off. I hope y'all enjoy it. It'll be up on YouTube here soon. I'm trying to get better at updating, but stay warm, stay healthy, stay safe, and since our buddy Knox is not here, TumTums, would you like to do the honor?
Don't miss your meat, no.
Good night, everybody.
Night.